All right, back and forth. That's the way we do it. So, home again on the Zephyr. Bug headlights are in development. These headlights are in development. Apparently there's a cork seal. I met with somebody on the East Coast via a Facebook link. Thank you. One of our group members said a Zephyr guy in Philadelphia. So I'm working on that, and I'm working on a seal beam headlamp conversion. We'll get into that in a minute. I have a bracket to hold that. But also, we have a little bit of Eastwood spray primer left, so I thought, why not dial this in, get the running boards on, and then I'll paint the little vent cap also. So little by little, one step at a time. All right, let's explore this headlight a little bit first. Take this out, take this off. So the message I got from the fella, he didn't say a lot about it, except that there was a gasket made of cork that goes in here, but I don't know if that's enough. I mean, of course he knows his Zephyrs, right? But from what I got just in a voicemail, he was nice enough to describe a few things, but apparently there's only a cork gasket around here. But what I'm seeing is like this is hitting up against metal. What I was imagining is like some big rubber ring here that would push in, but maybe I'll have to talk to him about that. The other concern is the headlights. There's like a little ring in here, but it looks like it's been modified for a seal beam, but I don't see any way to aim them. Maybe that's what we end up with, just a static mounted headlight without any adjustment. I mean, we'll have air suspension, so we can, it's not going to be driven on the freeway a lot at night, etc. So let's just put this headlight bucket in here and see what it looks like. So this is what I ordered. It's what we're using on the Bug. So I used one yesterday and one today to see if it would work, but immediately I thought this ring was too big. And I was right. That ring is too big. So it feels like the fender stamping comes up and it holds this thing in place. But I don't know that taking that out at this point would be of benefit. But one thing I did see was that this ring, and I have those other plastic Baja headlight rings, maybe we're just going to do that. In other words, this retaining ring, so maybe just this retaining ring from the other sets. Because I could see it's drilled. And this will screw right in place, so maybe that's just what we get. Maybe that glass will fit on this. Let's try that out. I would have brought a 7-inch headlight, but our auto parts stores nowadays, they only stock 2. So I bought 2 for the Bug, and the other one's down to shop. So in a day or so, we'll have 2 more 7-inch round headlights. Yeah, so these are the exact same size. So, but that's how I could see. Maybe I'll have to make it. Like imagine, you know, a rubber ring, like a piece of a hose almost. It's about 1 inch. That would go on there, and then that would index onto it, right? And I can come up with something. Well, let's just see how this glass is treated with that ring in place. All while trying to avoid dropping the ring. Oh no, definitely not. Dang. You know what? I don't think they were able to use these glass lenses with seal beams in there. Let's go to the glasses cam. So here's the deal. Hi. Never a word. You never speak a word. I used to have a shop inspector that talked to me all the time. Yeah. No, we're gonna have to come up with some different thing. See how that glass just fits right in there? Yeah. We have to come up with a more creative solution. All right, so I'm betting. I don't know what's going on back there. Can we see? Yes, we can. Got some half-inch hardwares. I mean, this is definitely something you have to bridge that gap somehow, and I'm trying not to be too boring with this. So let's turn these off. Put this in a safe place. I'm going to take that little metal housing out. Now, I pulled some stuff off fabrication-wise, so you could always cut the back of these headlight buckets out. Maybe use something like a VW bug headlight bucket. And, set that in. Just concerned about the tire rubbing up against the headlight because it's so low. I suppose worst case scenario, I say worst because it's not what I would want to do, is get an LED, like a really thin line, or even maybe if they have halogen that are very, narrow, might be able to save some space and just let the glass lens cover that. Be a dead giveaway when the lights are on at night, but I mean, we're not making a restoration here. So it's interesting because that really is just a bucket. And as I was mentioning, the fender is back here. So it doesn't really give us any more room. No, it kind of does. It doesn't give us any more room in diameter. But we're going to think on that. I'm sure there's some fellas that have done this, maybe not on the Zephyr, but on earlier cars. So I'd love to hear your input on that. Me, never done this before. And I could see a way through it. If there's a better way, I'd love to hear about it. The guys who were talking about the bumper brackets straddling that chassis rail, yeah, it's that type of advice that I'm looking for. So thanks for that. Even though I put the bumper on my own way. Knowing that would have made it a lot easier. But hey, bumper's straight, horizontal, fits correct. That's enough. All right. If anybody's looking for some Lincoln headlight buckets. Oh, wait a second. No, see, these are cut. I think I may have cut those when I was lowering the car. So, see, that's what you start to forget, right? I didn't really take a documentation of that part. So I bet this had a little cup that's cut off. So, either way, headlights next. So I mentioned I have a little bit of that Eastwood spray. I'm going to work on this. I went to the hardware store because, again, all my other stuff is down at the workshop, and I should have thought about that. I got these two little sanding blocks like a sponge with some abrasive on it, but I don't want to get this. So let's just do a quick detail of that. Then after that, we'll look at the running boards. I mentioned that this is going to be a short and sweet episode because that's what we're doing sometimes. Got to go down to Lancaster, California. You know Facebook Marketplace. If you don't know, if you're in one of the other parts of the world, Facebook Marketplace in the US, it's kind of a nightmare. You got every type of person selling every type of thing on Facebook. So I got to meet this guy because, people are pretty paranoid also because you never know. You don't want some weirdo coming to your house. So I got to meet this guy in a supermarket parking lot, pick up an old bench seat. Show me a couple pictures. It's burgundy upholstery. We can work around that, but it's from a Ford Ranger pickup. So for the Mercury, we're looking for a bench seat with the back that folds forward, but they're hard to find in that width. That other one I found, Roberto, those guys from Mojave, thanks, but it's too wide. I'm going to return that to you. And I don't want to cut it because it's a good seat. But if this one doesn't have a folding back, we're going to have to come up with a creative solution. And maybe we'll make the whole thing tilt, right from the base. I mean, it's just a fun car. You're not going to have a lot of backseat action, so I don't know. Just thinking about that. Yeah, I just don't want to hit this with the sanding disc. Or sanding disc. See how used to modern tools I am? The sanding sponge. I got 80 grit and I got 220 grit because this isn't rusty. This is just old paint. So let's just see what the 80 grit does to it. It's just all oxidized paint. And it was an interesting thing that I heard from a few body guys. The under primer of these is red oxide. It's like a lead paint, I think, lead based. So we don't want to be making a ton of dust, even though if we did sandblast it off, we'd take it off completely. But my point is, this primer was applied directly to the metal way back in the day. And if there's no rust between that primer and the metal, don't mess with it. It's like when you have asbestos tile in your house. One way is to just bury it. Seal that and never open the tomb. And that's kind of what I was thinking here. We just got a little bit of dust falling off. And I think we can just go right to primer over this. The epoxy primer. Because there's no rust between this first base of primer, and see some steel showing right here. If anybody has other opinions, love to hear it. I'm not saying I'm a body pro, but this grill is going to get treated to its own restoration in the long term. I'm just talking about we're getting this thing primer gray so we can drive it firstly, and then yeah, it goes on and on. If you've restored a car, you know what it takes. Yeah, so that's kind of it. Not looking to stir up a whole bunch of dust. That's 80 grit. Hit it with the 220. Take some of that action out. And this whole car is going to get sanded many, many times. But what I'm looking to do here is just kind of get the colors to match. I sprayed these. They were bare metal. And the spray can pretty close to the roll-on primer in color. So I'm not looking to mask anything except the stainless. Yeah, let me hit that other side. We'll give it a spritz. I think that's going to make it look a whole lot different because now you have this wide band of color kind of presenting what the grill shape is, but the grill is going to get considerably smaller once we get that color out of the way. Rather, it's going to appear smaller. Now, one person picked up the fact that this grill is dented underneath, and it was actually had a little push here. I could see a color of a little rust. I think this, wherever this came from, even if it wasn't from this car, they have sometimes these little overrider bars. I think this hit and just kind of pushed on that. Because this right here doesn't turn in, but it just seems like it could be a little bit more curved. And then got run up on something, so this is pushed up. Car's very low, so that little extra clearance, I'm gonna leave it. Because it's so low, you're not even gonna see it. I'm not trying to get this thing out of shape if I do come up on a parking block or something that I didn't see. So hit it with the 80 grit. Just slow down the comments about the dust mask. This is barely any dust. And it's a one-time gig. Everything's going to get restored. Every panel disassembled again and again Because right now this thing's going to be rattling and squeaking. You got no fender welts in place. You know, a lot of gaskets, a lot of stuff to get the squeaks out. We got one headlight out, so I was going to cover that one from any spray. Let's take a look at what the color looks like. Aero spray, epoxy primer. Works good. Do a little test. Ooh. Has a really fine spray on the tip of it, so makes a nice finish. See, I'm just trying to blend out that color a little bit. So we don't have a big harsh black border surrounding the grill. So it looks like with the grill you have stainless, then black, stainless, stainless, stainless. So it's not 100% shiny. Hopefully that's not getting on the camera lens. I'm gonna find out. If everything starts to look foggy, let us know. All right. Let's see where I was getting at with that. Just a simple sand and color. Let's check out them running boards next. And again, the idea with what I'm doing is just surface rust, right? This car is going to sit outside a little bit. We're going to bring the murk here, you know, I'm talking about over the winter especially. So this will stop any surface rust. Yeah, this is a very fine tip. Like, it doesn't give you like a heavy build like a spray can would. You're able to just run it in. I'm trying to like get some body on it so we can sand that, but it doesn't drip, so that's cool. This is one of those paints with the button underneath, so you hit it and it catalyzes. And it lasts a few days, so this one, that's why I'm using it up too. The air dry does seem to catalyze it because it doesn't really get cured up in the can, but it gets in the nozzle and starts to stick over a few days. If you use it the first time out, you're good. Yeah, see, right now we're getting low, so the can's not really out, but the nozzle's starting to go away. All right, that's cool, we got that. Let's fit up these running boards. Yeah, I feel like having those two black sides. Oops. Got a little overspray. I got some acetone, let's give that a little wash. This is typical for me too. You're going to the car show, you're buffing out your car, something happens. Come on, come on. There it is. Give it up. See, there's always one last bit. Sweet. And that's custom detailing with Ian Roussel. Oh yeah, like $1 million. All right. Yeah. Let's get on the side with the light. All right, next up on our list of things is these running boards. I'm only familiar with VW Bugs. I haven't worked on any American cars with proper running boards. True story. The Volkswagen is threads and it's closed in the rocker panel. I was happy to see that this one has access to nuts and bolts. Bolts go in, nuts on the backside. I got a running board and some hardware. Let's set it up. Assuming that's front and rear, yeah. And this one's a little bit beat up already. I can see that probably got twisted. That's where I wish I had my anvil. But I do have got a dolly. Yeah, that'll work. These little, get that. Yep. That. Ooh, that sounded good. Yeah, the rest of this looks good. These probably have rubber on them, maybe some chrome strips. I don't know. Can't decide how I'm going to treat these yet because they have a lot of holes in them. It's just making me think of this fella, Scotty Chops. You should follow him if you don't on Facebook and Insta. He's really into these Zephyrs past years as well. But he made this 36 Plymouth years ago. And I remember just following him, and he welded up all these holes and finished the running board super nice. So that's an option also. I do have the chrome that goes on the edge here, so I'm not going to fill those holes. But for now, let's just bolt it on and see how that fender works with this. Because remember, this is definitely in. And the chrome, stainless, whatever, goes all the way down. We got 1, 2, 3, I'll put 6 of the myriad of bolts in there. Let's set this up. Washer and a bolt, and washer and a nut. Try to grab this last one. Just sits on a little shelf. Might be a wrestling match. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that fender's already in the way down there. See, this was my concern. This fender's gonna give us stress. We got that one. Might have to just loosen that fender up a little bit. Seems like this one is going to agree. Yeah, that fits right in there. Just get something on there to start. Now here's where it gets a little bit weird. The way these come together, this laps under, then it's got to hit up on that shelf. Is this fender low? Who installed this? You have to go for the floor jack, I think. Yeah. All right. I think I put the floor jack on the other side. I got to loosen that fender and see why this is not working. Be right back. All right, let's see if I can get in here and loosen something up. And there's one up here. There's a lot of bolts, but we don't have a lot of them in. And finally, cool. Probably meant to just have everything hanging loose by the hardware. Put in your fender welts. You know, there's going to be a little welt in there. And tighten it up. Little by little. Another thing I was thinking about today is the airbags. The suspension. I have the front one on the driver's side out. Yeah, that's cool. So I'm going to put one more bolt here. Oh, airbags. Yeah, I got the new hoses and the fittings and a T. So let's just check the time. Once I get this in, date of destiny. Hopefully I don't get abducted. I'm gonna buy a bench seat. Got that. Now I'm gonna give a little detail with the glasses cam because you could see that that fender is not fitting. Hi again. I have to lay down here. Give me some room. Can I have some room? Excuse me. Fender's pushed in. Running board is out. There's a little bit of rubber still on this fender. Get that off. But that's cool because that shows like a bit of a spacer. A little paint on these spectacles. Do a little snapshot of the painting Jamie and I did last night. It's pretty fun. At our local place of congregation. Not the bar. Another place. They have paint and sip. Where you are assigned a painting. And they serve beverages. It was actually really freaking fun. Anyway, Jamie got a little bit of stardust. We're doing a sprinkle pattern with titanium white paint, where you have to take the brush and spritz it And I could see it's on the glasses. All right, well that's cool. And this is pretty bent. Looks like this got reversed. It goes into this hole here. Let me see if I can't grab a wrench and put that, see how it's ripped right here? This has to turn back, and this I think is bent. Yep. Fun surprises around every corner. Actually, you know what? I think this is from when I dragged it up on the trailer and ran that bracket over. Now it's all coming back. So that's it. This is bent. What do I think? Do I have it in me? Have it in me to fix it right now? Let's try to get this bolt. Let's get this one lined up. Check. So looking down the lane under this car, you could see it still needs a lot of cleanup. But that's cool. We'll get to that. All right, so I was just having a conversation with myself. Probably have it in the other camera. This hardware is coming loose. That's good news. I don't think this thing's supposed to be this bent. Let's look at the other side. It does have a slight bow, but nothing like this. Yeah, can you see that? So the bow is here, but not here. I wonder if we just step on that. Oh, look at that. Somebody's asking me if metal has memory. What do you think? I think we should take it over the table and hit that on the edge. So this was the first thing I thought of when I saw this. We put this here, that there. Send it. That's a little twisted, but it might work. Little action there. Bring it to this side. Yeah, let's see how that works. Then we'll just have to weld where it's split. Be pretty cool if we get this in one clip. Glasses have a 3-minute lifespan per take. Yeah, this comes in. Boom, boom. There it is. Heck yeah. Just like it's supposed to be. Sweet. Now you can see that pushed it a lot further out. That should help with everything. And all these bolts look good too. Once that's tightened, let me tighten this one up. I'll just give it a nice finished look. Goes all the way front to back. That's where it should be. One last bolt on that fender mount under there. All right, all this is looking dynamite. And right here is a little fuss. And there's bolts. Go vertically. Oh, never mind, not a fuss. There it is. So these bolts don't go horizontally. Hopefully we could see that. These fender skirts are gonna need some work too. The hardware got a little bit beat up. It's like a little lever. And the lever in the skirt is seized. And then here is a little rip. You have to work on that stuff. Trying to keep the conversation flowing while we're doing the boring work of tightening this fine thread hardware. Takes a while. All right, so that's drawn up tight. That's still a little bit weird. I wonder if I just pull it. Yeah, that's interesting. I think I'm going to slice that and then do a little hammer and dolly. But all in all, this looks good. This gap will close up once I get that tight. Yeah, so now front to back, the line's flowing a little bit nicer. Especially in this area here. That fender was pulled out. Yeah, cool. Grille's looking better. Headlights are still a question mark. Running boards are on. I have to go clean these glasses and stand by for a photo in closing of our great artwork. Even though there's a little spritz on the glasses. Looks great from here. Next time, get a little more involved.